And what they're saying is they told Tim Walz about the fraud when it was happening. And he not only ignored them, he retaliated against him. I'm telling you, Molly, if that's accurate and it can be proven, Tim Walz needs to be held accountable. Everybody in his administration needs to be held accountable. This guy now is scrambling to make it look like he's doing something.
This isn't just a song.
Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and slave us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule because you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, because I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about Bill Gates and the mark of the beast and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feasts and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring. And George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil, chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk and doubt it, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati.
Avoid scammers. Avoid fraud, avoid disingenuous people, disingenuous punks. You're watching the MC Too Tall Show with your genuinely hardcore, fierce, and sexy host that is never gross, MC Too Tall. And I know that I'm right because I haven't been punched in the face yet on a viral video. I haven't been caught on a viral video squirming, begging for my life because of what I stand for. And what I stand for is righteousness and good, overall morality and respect for God. So with that said, the opposite of that would be somebody like Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Here's a guy that knew everything that was going on, and it's coming out that he's known all this, because how could you not know about your state being defrauded of billions? It's going on billions now of dollars by Somali scam artists or Somalian scam artists. And the person that blew this up, TikToker, YouTuber, this young man, Nick Shirley. Now, I first started following him when he was going down Canal Street, just pointing out the different bootleggers and stuff like that. People that weren't even legal citizens, just selling bootleg stuff and stolen items. And I believe even these bootleg items were stolen items. And they were confronting him, being very animalistic. He handled it like a gentleman. I would have been more savage about it. I would have kicked them and chanted that they're less than human. I would have cursed them out. I would have said, fuck your color, fuck your culture. I would have done everything that feeds the leftist stereotype of a far-right winger. But that's just me. You know, that's just me. I would have given them all the reason to say all the bad things about the right. Because, when you assume, we might as well both be asses about it. But not to go too far into a tangent, that's when I first started following Nick Shirley with the Canal Street stuff. And what's so funny is he comes back a week later and his cameraman takes footage of those very same people being taken down by ICE agents. I love ICE. I may even join ICE. I want to join some group, any group that is hated by the Democrats. If it's a group that's hated by the Democrats, it's all right by me. But then Nick Shirley links up with a gentleman named Dave. I didn't get the guy's last name, an older gentleman that works in that area, and notices all these daycare centers that are taking in millions of dollars each, and there's not one child seen in or around these centers. In fact, the doors aren't even open on a lot of them. And when they find doors that are open, you'll have one building that has several daycare centers within it. You're only going to do that if you're going to funnel money, taxpayer money, through the government. So they figured out a way to do that and send the money out to Somalia, to Al-Shabaab, a terrorist organization that must be stopped, must be dismantled, must be blown apart, limbs flying everywhere. But that's what these Minnesota daycare centers are doing. And you're going to tell me Tim Walz knew nothing about it? Not only was he told about it, but Tim Walz threatened and even committed retaliation for it. And I would not be surprised if Tim Walz threatened to nakedly pound them. You know, there's a scandal between Tim Walz and a young man that was accosted by him when he was 14 years old. A young man that was propositioned by him when he was 14 years old. And that scandal was starting to come out while he was running for vice president. But somebody squelched it, somebody squashed it. But I believe it to be true. And I got to find out this kid's name. Well, now he's a young guy. He's a grown man now. But I got to look this person up and start asking questions. But, yeah. It took somebody with a YouTube channel to just go out and investigate on his own. Who do you work for? And he says, I work for me. I work for myself. And he's just blowing things up like that. And it's a horror show. And you know who's going to repay all that? The Minnesota taxpayer is going to repay Minnesota taxpayer money that's been lost. It's like I loan you money, you don't pay me back, and in fact you lose the money on me, and then I have to pay you the missing money. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. But nonetheless, here we are. And this Republican Congressman, Tim Emmer, is 100% right. He's 100% right. Tim Walz needs to go down into the dungeon. And we need to start seeing handcuffs, perp walks, orange jumpsuits, shackles, footage of people being thrown into dark dungeons. That's the only way people will learn, when they experience the pain, the physical pain of their consequence. This way, the next up-and-coming scumbag that has doing something like this on their mind will think, maybe I shouldn't become the next Tim Walz. These are not good people. They need to be held accountable. And I totally understand the frustration and even outrage that these people aren't taken to task. They're not held accountable. And something needs to be done about that. Something needs to be done about that swiftly. Or else, as Donald Trump himself would say, we're not going to have a country anymore. And Pam Bondi, I have yet to see anything great about her right now. It appears to me, prove to me otherwise, it appears to me Pam Bondi is dropping the ball over and over and over again. Assigning tasks to people who don't dot every I and cross every T. Let people like Jim Comey slip away. And yeah, people need to be held accountable. People need to start serving J6er time for their real crimes. Because J6 wasn't a crime at all. Nothing that happened in January 6th was a crime, except the Capitol Police officer that hid behind a badge and a gun and shot a decorated war veteran, killing her. And Ashley Babbitt went down a hero, and George Floyd ate meth and died of cardiac arrest in police custody. And the cop got blamed for it, unjustifiably. That's what happened. And you could get mad at me. You could decide you're not my friend anymore. You could even look for me to beat me up. I don't give a shit. I don't advocate for violence, but anybody that attempts to kick my ass will get their ass handed to them, I assure you. You freaking wimpy ass, liberal, estrogen-filled, little whiny bastards. But I digress. And I talk this boldly because I believe in God. And I know God is real because an atheist has never kicked my ass. And I've never lost a fist fight that sparked over belief in God. And that's how I know God is real. And that's it. You know, gotta have some class and dignity in this world. And if you're a guy, you gotta be something that women are gonna want to make out with. That's because that's a natural thing. Okay? If you're a man, you gotta man up, become something that women want to make out with. If you're a man, you gotta man up, become something women want to make out with, and believe in God. And as that phone rings, I say to thee, respect God, watch out for the Illuminati, like, follow, share, comment, subscribe, stay strong, keep kicking that slang, and I will not answer that phone until I close out this video. It's your boy in the building, MC Too Tall. Respect God.